There are only 3 times in the entire Bible where Jesus cried. Recently I was reading the Gospel of John. And in the Gospel of John there is this one quote, this one verse, which says literally, Jesus wept. And I ask myself, oh, wait, in the entire Bible, how many times Jesus cried? So I started Googling, I started doing my research, and I found that there are only 3 times when there's any mention of Jesus crying. And guess what? It was not even when he was on his way to the Golgotha, to his death. It was not his crucifixion, because of course when he was crucified, he was screaming to his father, but he was not crying. There's no description of him crying that moment. So for the last couple of months were extremely painful and tough for me. I wish I had a masculine father figure who would teach me how to handle my emotions, how to work even when I don't see any results. I wish I had someone who went exactly through the same things as I did, and who would be there and comfort me and say, it's okay, you're gonna make it, I know. I wish I had someone a little bit older than me who would teach me things, I wish I had a father, a masculine father. So for the last months, my master figure was Jesus. One of the reasons why I started to read the Bible so heavily and studying it was to find out how should I cope with failures? What should I do about my drawbacks, about my failures? What should I even do in my life? And I found that answer. It was coded in the Bible, of course. But I think that the Holy Spirit revealed that to me, so that now I can teach that to you. Because maybe that's the thing. Maybe He made me go through such pain for the last couple of months because He knew that it will build me into the person that I am today, and that I will be able to sit there and record the video talking to you. And maybe because I recorded this video right now today, a couple of years from now, someone will not kill himself because of that video. So maybe I'm naive, maybe I am, but I feel that there's some kind of a purpose here, that I do it for some divine reason. Let's jump into that. So that verse, Jesus wept, was from the Gospel of John, and it was exactly after Jesus found out that his cousin Lazarus died. The another, if I remember good, the second the second description of Jesus' cry was when he was on his way to Jerusalem, and he was crying about the whole city. That this city doesn't know its future. And he was crying because he knew that it's gonna fall. And the third was, someone in the letter to Hebrews, the author of that letter he was writing something that, Jesus cried and all of that during his crucifixion, but he made it through, and this motivational speech. So, like, the real, I think, 2 times when Jesus cried was not when he was dying, not when something was affecting him, but when something was affecting other people. Let me check one thing, because just in the middle of recording, because there was one part, and that part was when he was in the Garden of Olive, because before he was crucified, and he was praying there, and I don't know if that prayer was, if he cried when he prayed there. So let me just check it really quick. But he probably didn't. Oh, my internet is shitty. Ah, yeah, of course. My internet does not work. Oh, whatever. Let's just say he cried only these 2 times, because I don't remember if there was a time when he prayed in that Garden of Olive Garden, whatever, when he actually cried. Maybe he did. If he did, I'm sorry, I'm uneducated, but I don't think so. So, when he cried always after something terrible was happening, or was about to happen to someone else. And what does it tell us to us? Because I believe that Jesus is the final masculine figure. Like the pinnacle of masculinity. The best masculine authority you can have is Jesus Christ. Like, is there something more masculine, stoic, giga-chadish than Jesus Christ? He literally, there was a scene where he has his cross on his back. He was after beatings. He was after all of his disciples left him. He goes there and he sees crying women. And he tells them, he basically tells them that they should not cry. That okay, it's fine. He cheers them up. Like, how masculine it is. That he dies. He goes to his death. And there are people who cry because of that. And guess what? He stays like this gigachad, Sigma grindset, stoic man. He goes to them and says that it's okay. If that's not masculinity, I don't know what is. Really, I don't know. So that one time when he cried because of a Lazarus. The funny thing is, do you even remember that he cried that time? Because everyone remembers that Jesus resurrected the Lazarus. Lazarus, not the Lazarus. Lazarus. Everyone knows that Jesus resurrected Lazarus. Everyone remembers that. But how many people remember that he cried before that? That's another big lesson. It's okay, of course it's okay to cry. But do people remember you crying more than the positive things that you've done after that? It's okay to feel, it's okay to cry. Sometimes these are emotions, you just have to wash them, flush them somewhere. But sometimes this crying, it makes you hopeless. Not only hopeless, but it makes you somewhat procrastinate on certain things. What Jesus did was the most masculine thing you can do when you cry. That's like it's so absurd. Literally, he sits there, like stands. He wept. He cries, and then after a couple of seconds, he washes his tears, whatever. He goes to the tomb of Lazarus, and even though he cried a couple of minutes ago, now he tells them to take that rock that was closing this tomb and move it. Do you think that if Jesus would lose his faith, you think that he would still tell them to move that, to open that tomb? I don't think so. That's a beautiful message. It's a beautiful lesson. You can cry, of course, but don't lose your hope. Because even death is not the end for God. It's not the end. And I felt so hopeless for my failures. If you want to know more about my failures, just go to this channel and look any other video about failure, about being a failure. It's the winter arc this year. It's literally me failing arc. And every single time when I failed, I had an urge to cry. Sometimes I even did. Because it's really painful. After you've been on the peak of your life, when everything is at its best, and now nothing seems to work. Everything seems to just collapse. So it's easy to feel hopeless. It's easy to feel like a failure. And that Jesus lesson was something that helps me. Yeah, maybe I cried. Maybe I failed. But I don't want to stop. And I guarantee you that a couple of months from now, and I say it with being 100% certain of that, a couple of months from now, I will beat all the odds and I will prove everyone who doubt me. I'm gonna fail. I know that. I know that there will be obstacles, but I'm gonna smash them. I'm gonna pass them. If I will fail, I won't give up. I think that's something that Jesus wanted to teach us about crying. That it's okay to cry. But be a man about it. Do your best and leave the rest to God.